Alright y'all, we're back with part 2, my review of the Spyderco Resilience. I know I'm getting a little bit long-winded, but it's a beast, and I'm just excited about it. So, strength is really good, very, very strong knife. So, we'll talk about handle material here a little bit. It's a G10, and it's a nice G10. Basically, if you have a Cara with the G10 on it, at least the Generation 1, I don't have a Gen 2, so I can't compare it. Pretty much the same texture, maybe a little bit better texturing actually on the Resilience. It's a little bit grippier, a little bit more chalky feeling, I guess. Not quite as slick as the Cara. So very nice job on that. It's not so aggressive as to tear up your pocket when you put it in your pants or anything. I mean, it's very fine checkering on it, but it gives nice grip. It's good, pretty good grip. And then there's the fact that the handle's so huge, so it's not that big of a deal. And obviously stainless steel liners. So stainless steel and G10 for the handle materials. Ergonomically, it's very good. You can see the knife handle is so long. You can grip it all the way back here, and that curve just lays nicely in your palm. You got a little bump that helps you grip it, and it just fills your hand because it's so huge. And you know, you can grip it back here, and you have a freaking ton of reach. I mean, it's ridiculous how much reach I have with that thing. So, for a defensive knife, that's the bomb. Because you've got, you know, 4-inch blade and then 2 or 3 inches of reach here. I mean, that's like 6 inches. Significantly more than I'd get with my Spyderco Stretch, holding it back here as far as I could. And significantly more than you get with your Spyderco Endura. You know, you still get good reach with an Endura, but you get more with you get probably an extra inch or so with a Resilience. So pretty beastly in that regard. But ergonomically very good. You've got this real nice jimping on the back here that really cuts into your thumb. Not cuts into it, but digs into it, I guess I should say. And also very steeply ramped there, so your thumb lays in real nice. So very nicely done with that. Grips real good. And your fingers come all the way up to the cutting edge, so if you want to do any fine cutting, you have excellent control for that because of the way they brought this cutting edge all the way back. You know, have a little bit of a choil here, kind of dents in there. Just you know, pretty traditional shape, I guess, but it lays in your hand nicely. And you can get a real good grip on it. So ergonomically, it's very good. Feels good in the hand. And then activating, you know, you got the thumb studs fully, or the thumb hole, I should say, is fully exposed. Very easy to get to. Pops right open. There's not really any sharp edges on this. Even when closed, they brought this right to the edge of the handle, so it's just a smooth, you know, smooth line all the way around. So that's nice. And you know, these are radiused to make it a little bit smoother. So it just feels real good in your hand. No sharp edges, nothing poking you. Feels nice. So ergonomically very good design. Even when you hold back here, you know, still a very good grip on the knife. Clip design is pretty sweet action. Very nice clip. I'm impressed with it. It's a standard Spyderco shape. Very strong. I mean, this thing is definitely stronger than the clip on my Endura. It's a little bit thicker, so I'm sure that's part of the reason for it. And then also, the way they've anchored this, you know, you see that the Endura has 3 screws, but they're all, you know, basically right in line. This one's got 3 screws, but they're spread out like that, which makes it a very strong anchoring point, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, it's just a beast thing. And obviously you can see this one is oriented for tip down. That's how it came. But it does have up and down, left and right options. So you can swap that clip to all 4 corners. I know I'm a proponent of tip up carry, but I think I'm going to leave this one in tip down carry. And the reason for that is because it is so huge. If I orient it for tip up, when I pull it out, I'll be here, which puts me 2 inches away from the thumb hole. So I'll have to shuffle up, get to the thumb hole, and then activate it. You know, something like the Spyderco Stretch, it's not that big of a deal because when I pull this out of my pocket, you know, usually I'll reach in my pocket with my thumb, and then I'll hook my finger on the bottom of the clip there, pull it out. Now with the Stretch, I'm right here by the thumb hole. I can scrunch up a little bit, pop it out, you know. It doesn't really you know, it's not significant. My thumb can actually hit the hole from here. So it's just a little movement. Same thing with the Endura. You know, the Endura is a little bit longer. I pull this out of my pocket, my hand's about here. So a little bit of a scrunch, pop that Endura out. So for these, I like tip down, or tip up rather, because it puts me close to the hole and I can get it out quickly. For the Resilience, it's not going to do that. I'm going to grab the bottom of the clip and I'm going to be here. And I'm going to have to come all the way up here and then pop it out. So I don't see that I gain any advantage from that, and I get the disadvantage of this being a liner lock. If it pops open, the spring detent won't pop it closed again, and that will cut the crap out of me because it is so sharp. So I think I'm going to leave it in tip down, and I can draw it out, have my finger on the hole, and pop it out real quick. So I think I'm going to leave it that way. But if you'd like to, you can swap it. So that's pretty fancy. Big old giant lanyard hole. You can fit a serious lanyard in there. It's not a little lanyard hole like you got in the Endura. You know, it's a pretty tiny hole. That thing's huge. And it's a stainless steel lined lanyard hole. So that's kind of interesting. Now, this knife has another feature which I think is excellent, and that is the fact that you can take this knife down. Obviously, you got 1, 2, 3 screws and the pivot, and then of course the clip screws. But aside from being able to take it down just like any other Spyderco, you know, 3 or 4 screws and a clip or a pivot, this is not a Torx screw. These are, in fact, Allen screws, which I like immensely better. I hate the Torx screws. I don't know why they put Torx on every knife, but Torx are just, well, first of all, they're kind of hard to find, not nearly as widely available as Allen wrenches, and then the Torx with those little fine tines frequently will strip the bits in the screws if you try to tighten them down too much. And they'll also strip the screws because the screws have those tiny little fine things. I'm just not a fan of Torx. I don't like them. Much bigger fan of Allens. And, you know, they're more widely available. Everybody's got one. They're easy to use. They don't torque and rip, like, you don't tear them up like you do the Torx bits. So I like that a lot. It takes down with Allen screws, and I think that's pretty beastly. Let's see, what else? Blade centering on this thing is spot on. And that thing's right in the center. It couldn't be any more perfect. So very impressed with that. Doesn't contact the liners at all along the full length of the blade, except where it should be for the detent on the one liner. So very, very excellent on that. Perfection. So that's pretty sweet. Durability on this knife, I think, is going to be excellent. It's just a it's a hog. It's huge, it's strong, stainless steel liners and back spacers, you know, big old blade. It's going to last you. And this thing is a value. $38 I believe I gave for this. It was back ordered for like 2 weeks, but you know, it's brand new from Spyderco, and comes out of the box a razor blade. Definitely worth $40. You know, you're probably going to pay about $70 for a VG10 FRN handled Spyderco Stretch. you'll pay probably 50 or 60 for a flat ground Endura. You'll pay, probably 20 for a Cara 2 in the flat ground configuration, which I like better. So, 40 bucks basically for a big old honking blade that dwarfs them all. I think it's a good deal. And it's a Spyderco, so you can't go wrong with a Spyderco. Alrighty, I think that's about it. My review of the Spyderco Resilience. JC the Sniper, signing off.